Well, here I am, after many hours of study and practice. And if I continue to want to meet my goals of someday becoming an astronaut, there will be many more of hours of learning to come. I started to go to the junior high this year. I'm in 7th grade. It's different, but I've adjusted pretty well. Like I said, I know I'll have to study really hard if I want to go to the Naval Academy someday. Speaking of schools, if you like space, math, and science, I recommend a trip to the U.S. Space and Rocket Camp in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm sure many of you know about it, and maybe even some of you have gone to it. Anyways, you learn lots about space, teamwork, flying on simulated missions, and having lots of fun. I got my Atlantic suit over there, the blue one from Space Camp, right over there, and I got this sweatshirt from Space Camp, so it's pretty nice. Now I'd like to share some things with you that I've learned from my experiences, things that might help you in your lives. First of all, setting goals leads to success. Setting goals is like making your own map of what you want to do. I've always tried to set goals for myself, and once I accomplish one, I think about it, and then I set another one and work towards it. I think I learned how to set goals when I participated in the Pizza Hut Book It program when I was in my early elementary school. I remember setting the goal of how many books I'd have to read in order to get pizza, and I kept reading books one by one until I met my goal. Like when I first started to fly, it was too much of thinking about flying a plane across the United States or the Atlantic Ocean. At first, I wanted to learn about the plane or try not to get sick in the plane and to pass my ground school test. I adjusted my goals bigger as I accomplished the first ones. When I look back on it now, it all happened gradually, a little bit at a time, and before I knew it, I was there crossing the Atlantic. Remember that it's your own map of goals that you make just for yourself. You decide where you want to go and how you want to get there. It's up to you. This year, I've learned that when you set a goal for yourself, don't let other people discourage you from it. And when you achieve your goals, don't let other people pull you down. There will always be people who will try to put other people down, kids and adults too. Another thing I learned is that we need help and support from others to reach our goals. We don't do anything alone. We need help from our family and friends. In my case, my instructors were a very big help. They shared their knowledge about flying with me. I needed them to accomplish my goal of flying across the Atlantic and the U.S. So accept help and appreciate it. I found out that communication is very important. The world is smaller than you think it is. We need to be able to communicate with each other by learning other languages. When I was in Iceland and Greenland, I went to a fast food place like McDonald's, and there was a lady there who was only about 15 years old, but she knew English, and she knew her own language, which I think it was Danish, and she knew another language, and I was just really surprised that someone at this young age would try to accommodate someone in their own country. So I liked the worker, trying to accommodate us, and I appreciated that a lot. So I would like to learn as many languages as I can. We see and hear so many bad stories about people in the news. We hear a lot of discouraging things about our world. I learned that there are lots of good people out there doing good things. We live in a big, beautiful, and interesting, fantastic world. We must do our part and take responsibility to take care of our world so we can live in harmony. Young people like you and me, can make good things happen. We can make the world a better place to live in. It's up to us. I took the trip to Iceland without my parents. I was lonely without them. It was hard because I miss them, but I had to remember one thing. God was there, and I learned that He is everywhere to help you. I believe that everyone is special and everybody has special talents. You have special talents, and it's up to you to find out what those special talents are. I have a book that I used to read and enjoy a lot when I was younger. I love animals, and it's a book about animals. I'd like to share a story of it with you. It's simple, but it makes sense. There's one kind of bird who can't sing, but you can still hear it. It talks by hammering on wood with its beak. It's the woodpecker. Sometimes he pecks underneath the bark of a tree to find worms and bugs, but most of the time he uses his hammering to talk to the other birds. It doesn't bother the woodpecker that he can't sing. He doesn't worry about what he can't do. He does what he can do with all of his might. His pecking can be heard almost a mile away. People are as different as birds. We don't all have the same talents. Take a lesson from the woodpecker, and don't worry about what you can't do. Find out what you can do. Once you find out your special abilities, you can start working on developing them and setting some goals for yourself. Then stick to those goals no matter what. When I started out my trip in September of 1993 to fly across the country, and in June of 1994 to fly across the Atlantic, I said I would try my best, and I did. It's important to set goals in life. If at first you don't succeed, don't give up, keep on trying. Challenges help you grow and learn. You don't have to fly across the country or be on the news to prove to yourself that you can do something. It can be an art contest or a running race or the science fair, anything that's important to you. It doesn't really matter what age you are. It matters what you think and how you feel about what you're doing. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. So I've accomplished my latest goal, and people want to know what I'm going to do next. Well, I'm continuing to fly about once a month. My father and I travel to Columbus, Ohio. That's where my instructors live. I fly different kinds of planes, and I've flown in a glider too. That was really fun. But you only have to be 14 to get your glider's license, and you have to be 16 in order to get your pilot's license. So I'm 13 right now, so I'm looking into maybe getting my glider's license. I'm still a normal kid though. I like to spend time with my friends, play my guitar, play games on the computer, watch Wings on TV, and enjoy sports. I'm also taking tennis lessons now. That's my favorite sport. I love that. One of my goals is to concentrate on my studies, though. Education is important to me. Like I said, I know I'll have to study hard if I want to go to the Naval Academy someday and become an astronaut. I've just finished a book for young readers with Viking Press. It will be out in August. It's called Taking Flight. I worked with a sports writer on it. It was pretty fun and interesting, but for me it's sort of hard talking about myself and how I feel. This is the book right here, and well, it's not really the book, it's just the book jacket. And here it is, called Taking Flight, and it's coming out in August, and I recommend that you all go to the stores and buy it. And so, but I've had some great experiences. It's been an exciting couple of years for me and my family. I'll think about my next goal. I'm not sure right now what that might be, but anything is possible. Like an old African saying goes, if you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. Now I did the next part. And if you can dream, you can do anything. Thank you, and now I believe Ms. Edgington will help today with the questions. If anybody has any questions, she's going to help us out with that.
Vicki is such an accomplished young woman, and you would think that if anybody had a right to be conceited, it would be Vicki, and she is such a genuine person. That may be the biggest accomplishment of all. She's just a genuinely nice person. We are going to open the floor now for questions. We have 2 microphones. You can see them in the aisles here. So if anybody has questions, just line up. Who are your mentors?
Well, I'd have to say my instructors are, because they've been a very big help, and they've shared their knowledge of flying with me. And so I have had about 4 instructors. One lives in Meadville. His name's Bob, and you saw him on the video, the first video. And I also have some other instructors that live in Columbus.